Hi everybody, it's fall. And you know what one of my favorite activities to do in the fall is? I love to visit an apple orchard and pick apples. Have you ever done that? Oh, it can be a lot of fun. Sometimes it can be a bit hot and hard work depending on how warm the day is, but picking your own apples is a fun time. And then when you come home, you can do all kinds of stuff with the apples. You can make applesauce, you can make apple pie, or just eat apples, which I like to do, or caramel apples. Ooh, that sounds good. Apples are probably one of my favorite fruits. And you know, I read a book recently all about apple trees. And it's a really good book. It's called The Little Green Hen. And this book is by Allison Murray. And this book is very similar to the book The Little Red Hen, if you've ever read that story before, where Little Red Hen, she plants the wheat and harvests the wheat and makes some bread, and it's about people who help her and don't help her. Well, this one, it's not wheat, and it's not a little red hen. It is a little green hen. And Little Green Hen, she grows apple trees. And just like in Little Red Hen, some friends help and some friends don't. But this is a great book all about helping out and helping one another. It's also a book about friendship, and it's also about apples. It's about how the seeds get in the ground and grow into become big apple trees, and how you get the apples from the apple trees, and it's a really fun story. So if you're planning a trip to the orchard this fall and you want to take a good book to read in the car along the way, I think you should look for this book, The Little Green Hen. Now, one of the things I like to do besides eat apples is I like to draw apples. Nice shiny apples, or sometimes draw an apple core, and sometimes I even like to paint pictures of apples. And I thought I would show you a really simple, fun way to paint an apple. And all you need is some paint and some paper, and you need your hand. It's really easy. Here's what we're gonna do. So like I said, we are going to make hand-painted apples. To do that, you do need some supplies. So here's what you're gonna need. You need a paintbrush. Now you can use whatever size paintbrush that you would like. Just realize the smaller the paintbrush, the longer it will take to put the paint on to make the apple. If you don't have any paintbrushes at home, a cotton ball should work just fine. Now, second thing you need is paint. I mean, we are making hand-painted apples. I would recommend using, if you've got finger paint around the house, you could use that. But if you don't have finger paint, craft acrylics work really well, and so do tempera paint. Just be aware that both of those two do have the potential to stain some clothes, so either have a smock or just take the necessary precautions so that kids don't like stain stuff that they shouldn't stain, but it shouldn't harm their skin at all, and it works just fine. I use it a lot for different crafts and activities with kids. So tempera or acrylic, craft acrylic, or finger paints work fine. But here's the colors you're gonna need. You're gonna need red, you are going to need green, you are going to need brown, and you are going to need some black. Now in my house, for some reason, black paint is something I'm always out of. I don't know why, I never seem to have any black paint in my house, but I do today. If you don't have black paint, or if you're having to use a cotton ball instead of a paintbrush, may I recommend waiting until your painting dries and then just use a marker or a Sharpie. So that's what you need as far as colors go. You will also need a paper plate or something to put your paint on. It just makes it easier to apply. You will need a towel for cleaning your brush and for cleaning you up, and a cup of water to clean out your brushes, some paper, and you also need a hand. Once you have all that stuff, we are ready to make our hand-painted apples. Apply your red paint to the palm of your hand. You don't want to make it too thin because we need the paint to come off onto the paper. Now, we are going to take some green and go ahead and put green on your thumb. Like that. And now brown on your index finger, your pointer finger. Once you have those colors on your hand, you take your paper and you press it down. I like to go around and make sure and press on all of the parts that have paint, and then raise up. You might need to hold the paper down as you do. Like that. Now clean your hand. what you should have is something that looks similar to this. Now you could always try painting a different finger if you want the stem to go out a little bit, or you don't also, if you want, you don't have to take the whole finger all the way to the tip. So if you want a shorter stem, you can just paint that much of the finger. Once you've got this on, the next thing you are going to do is you are going to get your green paint again. And I'm going to do it upside down so that you see it better. And paint a leaf like that. And then, let me clean my brush. What we use the black for is this. It's very little bit of black. We're gonna put just a little black on there, and we're gonna go dot, dot, and then a little bitty smile. And we have a worm. Now, if you want, you can go and outline the whole thing if you would like. And here you have your completed hand-printed apple. That is your hand. It made that apple. I do know one other thing. If you want to make a different type of apple, it requires you using your feet and painting your feet. Since I am not going to paint my feet, I'm going to show you with a little trick that I learned. Let me get a new piece of paper here. And this time, since I'm not going to paint my feet, I am going to paint the outside of my hand like this. And I'm going to do it on both sides. And I'm not nearly as good with my left hand. Like so. And then I'm going to put my hands together, press it on the paper, raise up. Yeah, those kind of look like feet. Put my stem right here. And then let's put a couple of black seeds right in the middle. That's it. I hope you had fun. I will see you guys again in the next video. In each video in this series, we're going to take a minute or so to teach you a pre-reading skill that you can use with your child to help them grow into becoming a lifelong reader. Now, don't worry, they're not overly complicated. They're simple things that you can do that will really help your child. Print awareness. Print awareness means that your child knows that print has meaning behind it. That those letters form sounds, which form words, which form sentences, which form paragraphs, which form pages, which form chapters, which form books. And so that all of those are not just simple scribbles. Those words have meanings behind them. Print awareness also means that your child is aware of the proper direction to turn the pages, and that books have to be held a certain way for you to interpret this print so that it makes these stories. Running a finger along the words will sometimes help your child recognize that you are actually reading what is on the page and that you're not just making up the story as you go along. Just like with letter knowledge, pointing out a letter in a book and then saying that letter or that letter making up part of a word is a great way to raise print awareness. Point out environmental text, not just the text inside of books. Show them that print has meaning everywhere, even outside of books, whether that's sign on a business window or a billboard or in life around them. But pointing out that print and reading that print aloud makes your child aware that there is meaning behind that word.